Well, encountering means really meeting something in a way that goes beyond one's intellectual process. So normally in the West, particularly as a scientist, as I am, one's taught to encounter, say, a tree through one's ideas. So how did the shape of that tree come about through the process of natural selection? What might the forces have been that made, say, the sycamore leaf the shape it is? And, you know, it becomes a sort of instinct when you're a scientist and an ecologist to look at nature in that sort of way. That's not encounter. Encounter is when that conceptual structure vanishes and you actually meet the being as the being, coming forth from itself as itself, revealing itself to you in a way that's beyond your intellect, in a way that's much more deeply intuitive and much harder to express. In fact, scientific language is inappropriate for this kind of encounter. It's poetry that does it. It's a poetic encounter. Well, I had many experiences of this kind of encounter with the muntjac deer that I studied for my doctorate. And some of the moments I most remember would be when I was just waiting, and for many minutes or even an hour or more, nothing would happen. And then, if I was lucky, a muntjac would appear and just stand, even just for a few seconds. And if I was lucky, it would look in my direction. Then time stood still. Time stopped. And there was this infinite moment of meeting between myself and the muntjac. There was a sense of the being of the muntjac as a revelation, as if some kind of syrupy smoke was moving from the muntjac to me, infusing my whole being with muntjacness. So I could immediately understand the wholeness of the muntjac and how they relate to the entire wood. I could have an intuitive perception of that in that instant, but who the muntjac were as an animal with their own ecological niche in the forest. And it went further than that. I could also get a sense of the ecology of the whole forest. It suddenly came into focus through the being of the muntjac. The whole came into my perception. And then, if I was very lucky, then that wholeness would spread out and I'd get a sense of the ecology of the entire earth. That didn't happen very often, but that was possible. It was possible for it to expand. So in other words, I sank into myself. I sank into my wider body, which is, as my friend David Abraham would say, is the earth herself. I became aware of my wider body, all through the presence of the muntjac, because for me the muntjac became a kind of totemic animal. I'd spent so much energy and effort, intellectual effort, physical effort, emotional effort, in studying them, that all those energies became concentrated in the muntjac, which for me symbolized all these different aspects of the ecology of the wood and indeed of the earth herself.
When Stephan Harding observed the little muntjac deer in Rushbed's wood, little pools of life, chewing their cud, pausing for a moment of meditative tranquility, and seeming to radiate light in the shadows, there was encounter. When the system you've been studying looks back at you, it's not understanding that hangs in the air, but a hello. There's a conversation. You are not alone. By filling its environment with things it can control, the industrial market economy has lost its grip on logic at roughly the same speed and time as it has emptied its environment of things it can say hello to. Observing a little system chewing its cud among the shadows on a summer afternoon is good. Encountering a little muntjac is better. It can start you thinking.